Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough of the Celebrity Constellation. Now, this is a ship that we are currently on for a transatlantic cruise ending in Rome. So deck 1 and deck 2, not really a whole lot to talk about. Cabins and the medical bay and, where you disembark and embark on many of the ports of call. When you get to deck 3, now you're walking through the guest services and shore excursions, concierge, and then there are more cabins on either side of the ship. But I think it's a very pretty foyer, very appealing. It's a little bit smaller, I think, than some of the ships that I've seen, but I think it's very nice, and there are seats in little corners, as you walk around. It is located in the center of the ship, so you'll want to go down the center elevator bay. You can see the elevators there passing up. If you go to either the aft or the fore elevators, you will have to walk down the halls with all the cabins. But, as I said, there are little seating nooks that are just scattered throughout the ship, which I thought was really neat. I get up pretty early in the morning and I like to recharge, and it's great that I can find these. So, way, way, way in the back of the ship, you have the restaurant cuisine, and that is where you can get dinner with the show actually on the table. It's really, really cool. I found the restaurant to be very unique. You can see here the decor is very eclectic. It was kind of cool. It's almost Disney-esque. I really liked it. I really liked it. I liked the show. The food was very good. So I was very pleased. I don't know if I would do it, several times. Apparently they have a few different shows, but the show that we saw was really neat. So now we're heading up on deck 4, and here we are in the center, and you can see you have the martini bar, and right next to the martini bar is Crush. I've inserted a picture here of what it looks like when they actually have the ice out in the drinks. It's really, really impressive. They do shows at the martini bar, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then you have, of course, your little seating areas again all around the ship. So just really convenient to be able to grab a drink and go anywhere. So continuing to walk to the center, through the center of the ship rather, is Fortune's Casino. This casino was extremely clean, and Celebrity does not allow smoking in the casino. So I'm here early in the morning, very, very clean, very fresh, and there's almost nobody here. It was probably 4 a.m. I did this walkthrough to, to be able to give not to bother anybody while I was filming, so I didn't bother anybody. But from what I remember of the other cruise that we did, it was very, very smoky at the time, and sometimes you kind of had to walk through the casino, and it just really wasn't enjoyable. Whereas this is fine. I mean, it can get maybe a little crowded if there are a lot of people in there, but it's you're not bothered by cigarette smoke or anything like that. So as we continue to walk through the ship, you can see this is the photo gallery section, and not only do they have art for sale, but you can also see photographs of yourself and purchase photos. You can schedule time in the studio. So there was a lot to see here, and they do have auctions. To your left, you have the retreat lounge, and that is specifically for retreat passengers. That's a type of a cabin. So I didn't get to go in there. And then you've got the eye lounge. If you have tech questions or if you want to purchase some tech, that's where you're going to go for that. And the retreat lounge looked really nice, but like I said, it's totally closed off. It's got the frosted windows, so you can't see in there. I couldn't show any of that, unfortunately. And then you continue to walk around, and you can see there are lots of lots of locations that you can view your photos. They'll put them up on the wall as the cruise goes on. And I don't know how many people are actually purchasing these, given today's age with everyone having your cell phones out and taking pictures. But I did see a couple of occasions where people were actually having photos professionally taken. So okay, so here is the Celebrity Theater. We'll come back to that. And now we're back to the Martini Bar, which is towards the center. The Celebrity Theater is in the front. I wanted to walk to the back where you will find a couple of other venues. So if you head to the left, you're going to see the cellar. Oh, yes, there's art all over the ship. And it was really neat, actually. So this is actually Rendezvous, and they have live music here along with happy hour. If you are an elite level, then you do get free happy hour drinks from 5 to 7. So that's a nice feature if you're that level in the Captain's Club. But we found that we were here most evenings prior to going to dinner in the main dining room. It's a great place to gather, meet friends before going in. And it's a nice space. It's a really nice space. It gets quite busy. The entertainment that they had scheduled for the ship was very good. I was very impressed. We really enjoyed a band called Static. They were all over the place. They played the Lido deck. They played here many evenings, and they had quite the repertoire, quite a diverse song set and different shows. They played everything from the Beatles to, I think I heard Evanescence, to reggae, to it was just really, they were very good. So here is the lower level of the San Marco main dining room. There are 2 levels. If you choose anytime dining, you're going to enter through the 4th level, and they will either arrange a table of 8 and continue to add people to your table, or you can request a table of 4 or 2 or whatever, and they'll, you may have to wait a little bit, but you will eventually get your table. But if you go to the right, now you have Lumine, and that is one of the restaurants for the retreat guests. So they have a couple of restaurants that they can choose from, or they can choose in the dining room, the main dining room, or the buffet. So here we are back at the front of the ship, and the 4th and the 5th deck are the Celebrity Theater. And I don't know if this is considered a smaller theater, but I think it was just right for this cruise. And here I've shown a couple of clips with people performing, but here this is actually Easter morning, and so they're holding a church service, but there's plenty of seating, and they have a bar in the back that you can order your drinks up until the time this show starts. And they also have some reserved seating that they will open up within 15 minutes to the show, so that if people don't have enough seats and the reserved guests don't show up, then they can go ahead and open those up for general seating. So as we go here on deck 5, you can see that there are shops everywhere. The whole center of the ship is shops, and you have everything from liquor to jewelry to watches to clothing. Just a lot of shopping to be done. If that is your thing, you will be able to buy celebrity themed merchandise, or just really nice jewelry and watches. You can pretty much go the sky's the limit at these places. And of course, these aren't really part of Celebrity, the company. These are vendors that are renting space in the ships. And so I've heard some good things, I've heard some bad things, but since I'm a retirement traveler and I have limited space, I'm not going to be shopping here anyway. I couldn't tell you if it's a good deal or not. I don't know. As you move through the shopping area, you can see that you get to the future cruise area. Right now, as I said, it's about 4 a.m., so it's very early. They're not here, but usually they are here. And they are looking to help you to book a future cruise. We did ask, and they aren't commission based, and so that was nice. That was a nice feature because you feel like you can really get some good information from them, and they're not motivated to sell you something more than what you're looking for. So as you continue past the shopping area, on your right is the Gelato. That's all part of Cafe Al Baccio. And here on the left, you have Cafe Al Baccio. And so this is very interesting. I think some people may not be aware. The coffee, the specialty coffee they serve, I thought it was very good. It is an extra charge. However, any food items that you see, there are little sandwiches down on the bottom, those are all included. Okay, so here we are to the side, to the right of the main dining room, and you have a couple of specialty restaurants. You have Sushi on 5. That one we did not eat at. We ate at the other 2 specialty restaurants, Cuisine and Tuscan Grill. The other 2 you pay for the whole meal, and it's a full meal that you can either choose from, or in the case of Cuisine, it's kind of set for you to go with the show. But here at Sushi on 5, whatever you order is whatever you're paying for. It looked to be reasonable prices, in my opinion, given that it is a sushi restaurant. So now we're up at decks 6 and 7 are cabins, and deck 8 and 9 we have the library, which was closed at the time that I was filming this, but it's a nice quiet space. And there's a set of stairs that goes up to deck 9, and this is actually the eye lounge in the center for both deck 8 and 9, and actually 6 and 7. It's all cabins. So now we're on deck 8, and we have the Salarium, and this is, in other ships, I think this area may be reserved for spa guests, but on Constellation, it's actually available for all guests to enter and to use the services. I believe that guests under the age of 16 are not allowed in this area, so you don't have any young children at all. But it's got a thalassotherapy pool, which is like an enriched seawater, and it also has the spa cafe, which has healthy options. Those are all included in your regular cruise fare, and it will have food during all the meal times, all the major meal times. It won't have snacks otherwise. And then they also have a smoothie bar here that is extra. I believe it's part of one of the drink packages, the one with the coffee and soda and things. I think that the smoothies are included in that. But they have a smoothie bar that's running most of the day. And then they have behind me, I think I do turn around and take a quick look here, but yes, I do. All right, so behind me, there's coffee and water and juice available all day long. This is, getting ready for breakfast, so they do have the cereal out. So as you move toward the front of the ship, you can see the spa here, and they have all sorts of services that are available for you to use. And then towards the very, very front, you have the gym. And I felt like the gym was a pretty good space for the size of the ship. They have all the different machines that you would be looking for. They have a floor for fitness classes. They do have scheduled yoga classes and stretching classes. I think I saw Tai Chi on there. But it's free for everyone to use. And in the back here, in a second, we're going to take a look to the right. Oh, I did like these windows. These are nice. So you can be on your machines and, looking out at the ocean and where we're heading to. But as you go here to the right in the back corner there, you can see that there are free weights. So they do have, all sorts of options for you to work out. Um, so yeah, so this was I felt like it was a pretty good size space, plenty of machines. So now we are back out on the Lido deck, which is deck 10. We've got a bar there. I think it's the mast bar. There's also, there's plenty of seating. And one thing I really do like with Celebrity is that you if you try to reserve a chair, if someone tries to reserve a chair, and people would just drop towels and take off and go into breakfast, whatever. If someone is not in that chair for a half an hour, they're gonna collect your belongings and they will hold them for you, but they don't allow people to, in essence, hog the chairs. Um, Now this was a repositioning cruise, and so we did find that there were always seats available. I mean, no matter what deck you were on, there were empty seats. But I can imagine that, during the Caribbean cruises, this must be very frustrating. I've seen people, hogging a chair all day and they're barely in it. And meanwhile, the people don't have a place to sit. So they do not allow that in Celebrity. So as you go towards the back of the ship on deck 10, you have the ocean view buffet. It is open a good part of the day. They'll close a little bit before each meal time so that they can, get everything all set up. And here I am early morning. You can see it's dark out. And so they're, preparing for breakfast. And they actually had a pretty wide array. They always have, American breakfast. They always have English breakfast out. They have a pancake and waffle bar area. That's where I am right now, is the pancake and waffle bar. But they have, in the afternoon, this will become the grill, and they will grill steak to order, or fish, or chicken, or pork. Um, but they tend to have the two sides mirroring each other. So you really didn't see huge lines, which was very nice. They have omelet stations, and they always have a special bread in the morning. Whether it's banana bread or something that's more local to wherever we are at that point in the cruise. I've seen that. I've seen beignet. I've seen, you know, apple turnovers. So here's the English breakfast here. So you can see beans and English bacon. And then they have a few fruit and muesli bar. It's just, they have pretty much the same breakfast foods each morning, omelet stations, cereal, baked goods. So you really have a lot to choose from. I thought the fresh fruit was really good. I just really tucked into the oranges every single day. And you've got probably 8 or 10 places around the buffet that you can get coffee, plenty of coffee there. You've got different juices. There's the fresh fruit. Those oranges were fantastic. I had those every single morning. They do have gluten-free items available. They have gluten-free muffins in the morning. And then in the afternoon and evening, they have gluten-free pastas in the pasta section. So you can have some options there if you are gluten sensitive or celiac. But they have everything very clearly labeled above. And they always had, I love this, they always had an Asian breakfast section, which was really good. And they would have usually some sort of a vegetable stir fry, sometimes with meat, sometimes without. They would have Indian food in the morning, a nice dal or a masala egg dish. They have, you can see their smoked salmon and all the fixins for that. There's a toast station. So you can go ahead and get some bread toasted and then turn around and put, salmon and cream cheese on it. It's just really nice. Fresh juices are available. There's really no lack of food. And every day there was a different theme for the afternoon and for the evening. So during our cruise, we had Mediterranean Day, we had Montenegro, food of Montenegro. Here we are at Easter. We have a chocolate fountain and just quite the dessert spread for Easter. Lots and lots and lots of chocolate, people taking pictures of it. So I thought the buffet was fairly decent. So here we are heading up to deck 11 in the center of the ship. And this was a real nice place to hang out, deck 11. Here we are looking down on deck 10. But deck 11 was very nice because there were just chairs everywhere. And you could kind of get out of the general rush down there, but you could still listen to the band. There were a couple of smoking areas here. There's the masked bar. And there's a walking track here that goes around the ship. And so every morning from, I get up pretty early, 4 a.m. or so, you can see people walking. They start walking pretty early in the morning, and then, you see different groups walking each day. And with a transatlantic cruise, you're going to see the same people for, this was a 2.5-week cruise. So you get pretty familiar with who's going to be walking. But I did like this area quite a bit. As you move towards the back of the ship on the 11th deck, then you have Tuscan Grill. We really liked this restaurant a lot. This was where we had our anniversary dinner, and it's small. The food was, very small and intimate. The food was excellent. I'll do more about that. As you go towards the front of deck 11, so it's split. You can't walk all the way through. But if you're in the front of the ship, the 4, I guess it is, on deck 11, then you're going to see the kids' camp areas. So you've got camp at sea. We didn't have, I don't even know as if we had 5 kids under the age of 13. It really wasn't very active. We didn't expect it to be, but that is their area, camp at sea. And then back here in the corner, you've got the X Club, and that is for teens. So we did have some teenagers on board, but I don't know how active the club was. I also didn't look in there. They have it closed up in off hours. And as I said, I was there in the morning. But I believe they have video games and, different things for them to do. And I'm sure they do activities. And then as you come away from that and towards the front of the ship, this is a cool place to be when you're getting ready to dock, the Reflections Lounge. It is an area that they hold a lot of the activities every day. And then they also have live music at night. But this whole area, you can sit virtually anywhere here, and you can see out the window as we're pulling into port. So I like that. And then you come right outside the doors, and you're going to see in the front and the back that you have steps up to deck 12. If you're in the front of the ship, you're going to see the Rooftop Terrace, which is where they show a movie every afternoon. But otherwise, it's just a really great place to catch some sun. It's very, very quiet. If you don't want to be in the middle of the live music down on deck 10, this is a perfect place to hang out. We really liked it up here. And, it's a good place you can get some sun. If you get under a cabana, then you get a little bit of relief from the sun. If you're in the front of the ship or the 4, then you have just some chairs, and it's a great viewing area as well. So there's my walkthrough, and I thank you for watching. And if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. Have a good day. Bye.